All right, so here we go. Part 2, doing the whole grill. We're back on the 68 Camaro. Fast forward a few days, the whole front end's been sanded with 600 grit on the DA, 1000 grit on the front area wet, a little scuff paste to finish off with little nooks and crannies. Gone ahead and done a lot of masking, covered up the bumper, covered up what's going to be our major molding that surrounds it. We've also laid out the stripe. We're going to do a band across the front. Got my position where my Camaro emblem is going to be, and currently I've begun covering up my silver of what would be the face of the grill, the shiny part of the grill, measured out using the tape. Got my first line laid down. Now I'm going to add multiple lines above and below to make our actual grill image. All right, I've finally done masking. Everything covered up to this point is going to stay silver. We're finally ready to lay our first color down. The first color I'm using is gray. It's no specific gray, just almost half and half, black and white. It can be a little on the lighter side because we're going to do a lot of shading. We can always dull it down if it's a little too bright. I added an SS symbol in here because around the border is going to stay silver. But the inside will obviously be white. So everything's wiped down, tacked off. I'm going to go ahead and put the gray on, and then we're going to come back and we're going to do some more masking. All right, now we got all our gray on. And the reason we use gray is because even though the grill's black, you can't use black to make a black grill and still have voids where you would be seeing through it. So the gray acts like like a black contrast when the light's hitting it. So all right, this thing's had about 20 minutes to dry. Now I'm going to lay down a bunch of 1/8 inch vertical lines, and then I'm going to lay 1/4 inch horizontal lines right on top of this, and I'll show you why when I'm done. All right, all my vertical lines are made. Everything's spaced out 1.5 inches apart. And then I'll stop. We're going to cover this side up because this will be your actual hideaway of the hideaway headlight. Now we're going to go through and we're going to put a 1/4 inch on the top side of every 1/8 inch line going horizontal, and then on the left side of these lines, and then be on the right side of these lines. All right, so hopefully you can kind of see what's coming to life here. Obviously there's nothing but a ton of masking to do this grill. We're about to do a little bit of airbrushing. The only thing we're going to be doing is shading in the corners of these blocks to give them the depth. And then we'll be darkening up some areas in and around the headlight door. And then we'll be pulling some more tape off. We kind of work from the background, or the foreground to the background. So we started with our foreground and we worked our way all the way to the back. The black is our see-through into oblivion stuff. And now we're working on bringing the other stuff to life. All right, so we're working with just black. All we're going to do is shade from the center this way. We're going to shade this side of the blue lines. And then when we get to the other side, we're going to shade this way of the blue lines. All right, down the very center, I usually do a shaded spot on both sides of what's going to be my center line. Everybody can do it differently, but right now I'm going to cover up this left side so I can shade the right without getting overspray all over it. All right, so now that we've got all these little corners shaded, if you notice when I was doing it, I was also shading below the line to shade in where it's going to be hidden and the light's not getting in there. Now I'm going to go back underneath what's my actual chrome molding line that's hard to see here. And I'm going to darken up each one of these below it. And then on the sides here, I'm going to darken it on the corners just to kind of hide it down. And then I'll get to work on doing the hideaway headlight part. One last detail is shading both sides of our vertical lines. So I'm gonna finish off this side and then we'll be ready to pull that tape off. All right, give you a good look. Shaded the corners and the bottom, or what would be the bottom of the horizontal bar. And I came back, shaded up the tops around everywhere where our chrome molding will be. And I came back and shaded right through our vertical line. Now I'm going to remove these vertical lines and we'll probably kill the color down a little bit to make everything kind of darken up and match. All right, it looks pretty good. I'm gonna do a little bit of shading. I just want to dull it down a little bit, especially where the vertical lines are just straight gray. All right, I'm also going to darken up the top right below what's our molding. All right, now the next thing to get pulled out. Next thing we're pulling out is the center line right next to our SS, because we need to shade around the SS, the molding and on the background. Now we're going to shade around the SS. All right, it's probably hard for you to see the SS, but I'm going to shade around it because we want it to stand out. It sits on the front of the grill, not in as a part of the grill. All right, now the SS is shaded, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the letters out. so we can mask it off to paint white. All right, so we're getting closer. Unmasked all the lines. We've got a lot of it pretty much done. We do need to divide this two sections here and here. So now I'm gonna mask this off, black out the end there and make the ends look like they're stopping. Darken up these ends here. And then we'll pull some more tape. All right, so fast forward a little bit. went ahead and did our stripe. Also went ahead and added the Camaro emblem. Right now I'm about 95% done with this thing. Mainly what I've done is all the black shading. There's still just a little bit of black shading to do. The SS needs some black shading in it. But primarily, I need to do the white highlights. But I want to get everything nice and smooth. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to clear coat the whole front end, put 3 to 4 coats just in this front area so I can smooth it all out, get rid of all the lines. All right, so I'm back after clear coating this thing, sanding it all back down. It's relatively smooth in the front. It's not perfectly flat. Gotta kind of be careful with that so you don't cut into it, but it's pretty flat. After a few more coats, it'll be fine. But retake out the SS emblem, and I'm gonna do some shading underneath the S's there to darken it up and kind of punch it out a little bit. And then we're gonna do some white highlights on it, clear coat it, and we'll be done. All right, so the last thing to be done is doing little white highlights to give those little glimmers of reflection. That's one of the main reasons why we want this thing nice and smooth as best as possible, because you don't want to be highlighting over sharp edges. It'll make it look like there's a line there. So now it's nice and smooth. We're just going to highlight some random places along what would be our chrome, just to give it a little pop as if you took a picture and the flash was on it. 3 coats of clear coming at you. All right, there we go. 68 Camaro, Peruvian ice, all finished up. Grille's completely done. The band across the front's finished up. If you're paying attention to the whole grill, hopefully you learned something. It's real simple, it's a lot of masking. It's more like paint by numbers as long as you do it in the right order. You really don't need a whole lot of artistic ability. I'm not perfect. This could be 10 times better, it could be 10 times worse. But I've had the pleasure of doing about a dozen of these so far, and each time they're a little different. Some are better than others. So we ended up doing a pewter colored band with the black stripes. It's code WA382E from the GM. Camaro emblem. Then we even did a couple of some faux tail lights there, go on the back of the car. All right, well that's that. Like and subscribe. Hopefully I can do some more stuff like this in the future. Right now I'll leave you with a long steady shot of the front end in case you want to pause it. In case you're trying to do your own, get a good picture of it.